Hello, Kindreds. Get in. Oh, come on now. Oops. Just getting myself together here. Okay. Adjusting. Kind of. This is a weird angle. Maybe I will try to move myself over there. I'll just rotate. So the journals that you're looking at now are the journals that I created over my year-long daily journaling experience. And so this video, as you can tell from the title, is basically me sharing my story as to why I decided to journal every single day for a full year. 365 days. Every single day I did not skip a day. As you can see. And this will be a bit of a series because there are several things that I want to talk about relating to this topic, and this video is just going to be focused on my reason why. And what I did not have space to put in the description of this video is, and you should too, right? So I'm kind of assuming if you're joining me, you have some interest in journaling or some interest in your spiritual walk. Maybe you have questions. Maybe you're going through parts and moments in your life that you're questioning. You're trying to get your footing. Maybe you're struggling, and so this is what this series is about. It's to talk about journaling as a tool for spiritual growth and a tool to help you align with your path and purpose in life. And 1 year, a couple years ago, I think it was 2021 to 2022 is when I did this. Yes, or no, 2022 to 2023? Maybe that's what it was. Okay. I think my journals are telling me 2022 to 2023. That's why you journal, so that you can keep track of these sorts of things. Okay, so 3 reasons why I decided to journal every single day for a year. The first reason, I wasn't happy in many areas of my life. And I don't want that statement to be construed or confused with ungrateful. I had a lot of things in my life, and I still do have things in my life where I am very blessed. I'm a very blessed person. I'm very grateful for my life, and even though that is true, it is also fair to admit that, you know what, I'm not where I want to be. There was something missing. There was something, and I couldn't quite put the pieces together, and I didn't quite know what it meant or what it looked like, and that's what started me out on this journey, or one of the reasons why. Was because I wasn't happy, and I hadn't up to that point taken the time and put in the energy and effort into figuring out why. And there were some things that I knew, like I knew I wasn't doing what I wanted to do or what I was supposed to be doing, but I didn't know what it was I was supposed to be doing, so that didn't help. And so that's why I decided to go on this journey, and using journaling again as a tool, as a mechanism in which to work through such complex topics. We are complex beings, and so using a versatile tool like journaling, I mean, I know I'm showing you a physical representation of my journaling, but what you're not seeing here are the other mediums in which I used to capture that time of my life. I was making audio files, which like for example, in this entry that I wrote on April 20th, I noted an audio file. And so this is the title of the audio file so that I can refer back to it in the future as I return to these thoughts and these ideas. And I also used a lot of cartography, particularly in the beginning of my journaling journey. As you can see in this journal right here, that I used a ton of cartography, oracle, and tarot to help guide the conversation. I mean, when you don't know where to start, I feel like tools like this, intuitive mediums like cartography, like charm reading, help to pull these topics to the surface, help to pull these ideas to the surface, and help you guide the conversation. When you're staring in front of a blank page, and also to note, like, these are typed or they're written forms of my journals. They're digital forms, but one journal, this October one right here, I said I told myself that I was gonna do completely by hand. I was gonna write everything, and that was a couple days into the month. So yes, the first couple of days are typed out, but eventually, a couple days in, again, I decided to do it all by hand. So basically, I had a stack of these coffee dyed papers I was experimenting with by my bedside every night, or when I woke up in the morning, and I would just write. And when I say every day, over the course of a year, 365 consecutive days, I mean exactly that. I did not skip a day. And to note also that some days were lengthy, multiple pages, and some days were like, I'm breathing today. Like, they were very short and succinct messages. And, you know, if you're contemplating some sort of a consecutive journaling experience, which again, I strongly encourage a minimum of 3 months, so 90 days of consecutive daily journaling, and you can use whatever type of journaling that you want to use. It's a wonderful way of checking in with yourself, intentionally checking in with yourself, and you might be surprised the things that come up when you make that commitment to yourself. I will get to the second reason why I started journaling after. I invite you to join me if we're not already connected by subscribing. Click like on this video if something resonated with you, and please do share your thoughts down in the comment section below. I do other types of live messages. I do cartography readings, and my live cartography readings, I do take your questions. So if you see me live for a cartography reading, do join me if you want to ask me a question, if you want me to pull a little personal reading for you at the end of those videos. Okay. Second reason why I decided to journal, and I'll also page through some of these other journals. I had too many thoughts. Cluttering my mind where I couldn't peel out an individual thought to like mull over it. It was just too much happening in my head. And so journaling helped me to capture a thought. So you have the thought, you write the thought down, and then you can, and then it's not taking up space. You can return to it. And that's what I did. So I just so happened to turn to this page. There was, I don't really know exactly what this is talking about, but this was a reading from May 25th, 2022, and it was guided by a cartography spread here. And it's accompanied with an audio file, so that's probably where I did a lot of my thoughts, was in that audio file. But I also wrote down some things connected to, in this particular case, my rooted belief connected to like pleasure and sensuality. And I have these series of questions. So this is always something that I can return to. I can return back to this series of questions and answer them. But again, the cartography or not, I'm sorry, not the photography, but the journaling itself as a mechanism, as a medium to capture your thoughts and kind of like pull them out of your head so that then you can focus on one thing at a time, one thought at a time. You can prioritize them. It's almost like they're real. They take on like a tangible form when you put them in some sort of a medium. Again, whether it doesn't have to be written, but at some point along my journey, I decided that I wanted to make journals to capture these, and I did some backtracking and then did some forward things as well. But I started tapping into more of an artistic side to myself, which is, I don't consider myself an artist, as you can tell. This isn't really that wonderful, but it's wonderful because it represents a part of myself that is stepping out of my comfort zone, stepping out of this place of comfort, because you know what? The only way that you're going to get something different out of your life is if you do something different. If you keep doing the same things, you're going to yield the same results. That's just facts right there. And so I tried different things. As you can see, I tried, I want to say, which was my first, I think the October one was actually my very first. As you can tell, the craftsmanship is on sus. My craftsmanship is a little questionable, but this journal represents more than just some pages and, you know, just paper. It represents exploration and trying something, right? It didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted, but I guarantee you, since then, I've made dozens of journals. And when I say dozens of journals, I mean dozens of journals. And they're far better than this. And I will, if you're not joining me on my little series where I'm pulling this journal together, this is a pure just me making a journal, and I might sell it, I might not, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but you can see the difference, right? And I feel like that taught me, the lesson there was that you have to start somewhere. You have to begin, and this journal represents beginning, particularly beginning journal making. But this journal, was it this one? No, it is actually, well, technically my 365 days started May 1st. That's when I said it started. But really, I mean, I really started journaling more consistently in April. And it was some point at the end of April where I was like, I need to do this every day. Like, I want to commit to this every single day for a full year. And then I said May 1st. It was somewhere to, you know, the third week or something of April that I decided to do that. But April, I mean, I journaled 20 of the 30 days. So I knew that I needed to do something different. Started in April, but it was officially in May. So these journals, technically my year goes from May 1st to April 31st, which is the last, oh, you guys can't see that. This journal right here is April of 2023, so year after 2022. And so each of these physical journals represents a point, a moment of exploration, a point and a moment of curiosity and like putting my hands to something. There's something to be said about tactile investigations. It's like, it's almost like making things real. When you can put your hands on something, it makes things real. And we live in a digital world, and it impacts us, but there's still something about it that's a bit unreal. We're a bit disconnected from it. And so as I noted before, I used many different mediums of exploration when I was doing my journals. I was making audio files, I was doing voice to text, I was typing things out on the computer. And but at some point I decided that I needed to make something tangible, that I needed to make in addition to. That was a part of my exploration, to be perfectly honest with you, the importance of making in my spiritual growth process. Turning my thoughts, translating my thoughts into physical things. And this has branched off into other areas of my life as well. I'm just going to open this up. So this book is the second in the exploration of hardcover journals. So this is the first one. And as you can see, The closure didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. You know, some of the corners aren't the best, but this journal did a little bit better, right? Corners are a little bit more closed. This is slick. Like, I am loving the craftsmanship on this project. But then I learned that, hey, I need to cover up this element here, right? And so the reason why I'm sharing this is because as you continue to do something over and over again, you get better at it. You get better at it. You can discover the things that need to be done differently. And maybe you don't exactly have the answer as to what that differently is, but you know that something needs to change, that something needs to happen. And then you can start experimenting with those components. And that's what this project did, which I love that. Experimenting with types of closures. I mean, there's just so much that you can do. And I love this idea of experimentation, and it's all connected. Like, spirituality isn't this woo-woo thing that is disconnected from our experience on earth. Our experience on earth is spiritual. It's all the same. It's connected. They impact each other. So this is at some point, I'm sure I will get around to lessons learned from different sources. But for this moment, I feel like I have to reference one of my favorite shows, honestly. I watch it religiously, like, every year. But it is Avatar: The Last Airbender, like the cartoon version of it, kind of the original version of it. In one of the later videos, Uncle Iroh says that the illusion is that we are separate nations. So if you're unfamiliar with Avatar: The Last Airbender, basically it's about these kind of 4 nations that are represented by the 4 elements, right up my alley. Fits just right into my channel and everything. But there are 4 nations represented by the 4 elements, and when the movie begins, or the show begins, they're at war, and the Fire Nation is kind of terrorizing everyone, trying to conquer the entire planet. But along the way, one of the characters says, and he's like a more wise character, he basically says that the illusion is that we're all separate, that we're 4 different nations. The reality is that we're all the same. And so my relation or connection to that, kind of bringing it back, is that our spiritual experience, our worldly experience here in this corporeal existence, it's all the same. And the areas of life, as we think about it, like we think about career, we think about romance, or we think about kind of our own personal journeys, they're not separate things. They're all connected. They all are fueled from the same source of energy. And the reason why I say that is, when you journal, you venture down these different paths, but you realize that it's all one path. Like, it's your path. And these things impact your path, your journey, your focus, your contentment, or your curiosity, all of these things. And they're all connected to each other. And you learn that. Energy all comes from the same place. Yep, it sure does. That's another topic. So the third and final reason, and then I'll show you some of the journals. Like, we'll go inside of some of them just so you can see them, because it's fun. And I'll probably do more of that, like a show and tell, and share some of the entries with you, and maybe that'll give you some ideas on what you can journal about. I do plan on pulling forward like journaling prompts and topics, and I try to attach those to the cartography readings that I do on my channel as well, so that you have a little bit of homework if you desire it, coming out of the reading, and it's not just like the reading ends and then it's out of your mind, it disappears out of your consciousness. The intent is to kind of give you fuel to help push you along and help move you along. And I will note that some of my journaling entries actually come from readers that I watch online. Like, you can use a topic, or if something resonates with you or something triggers you and makes you makes you upset, like, you can use that as a topic to journal on. You can pull topics literally from anywhere. And we'll do some of that too. I just have so many wonderful ideas. And also to note, like, I'm a very private person. I keep to myself. I don't like sharing a lot about myself. But the reason why I am doing this is because I feel called to. It feels like it's a part of my path and my purpose to reach out and to help someone. I don't know who this person is, these people are, but I feel called to do this. And that's why I'm doing this. And that's why I'm sharing parts of myself, because I feel like it's going to help someone to better their life, to improve their situation, to connect more with the happenings that's going on in their world. So that's my motive. That's why I'm here. Anyway, I said I was going to talk about this final topic. So the third reason why I decided to journal every single day for an entire year was because I wanted to understand what I was supposed to be doing with my life. So I talk a lot about path and purpose on this channel, and that's really where that stems from. I wanted to understand my path and purpose, and I feel like it's a pretty common question. Like, what are we here for? Like, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? We ask ourselves those types of questions. And it's a really dense answer. Like, it isn't just one simple thing. That's what I have learned on my journey thus far, is that it isn't just some simple thing. We are complex beings, and therefore the answer is complex. It doesn't necessarily have to be complicated. We do tend to complicate things, but it is a very dense answer. And my advice, if I were so bold to give any, would be to allow yourself to discover what this answer is. I feel like I've parsed out pieces of it, but I don't I'm not, I don't think, or I'm not, I'm trying to think of the right way to word this. Like, the things that I understand to be a part of my path and purpose might not be everything. There might be other things that what I'm doing now is preparing me for whatever else is down the road. And so, again, I've kind of learned to just be open and willing to receive direction and allow yourself to be guided by yourself, by your inner voice. Yeah. And then just like, so I did take notes on this because I do tend to get sidetracked, as you've probably learned in this very short time we've been spending together. But I feel like there's a good reason why we came into this experience as humans in the corporeal world at this time, place, etc., with absolutely no memories, at least no conscious memories of where we came from. There's no coincidence, I feel like. I feel like we are here without any preconceptions, again, at least consciously, is so that we can seek. Like, seeking the curiosity to know why, what am I supposed to be doing here? Like, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be focusing this energy? If you really think about it, we are such powerful beings in a lot of ways. We're capable of so much. We are literally lit from the inside with these little stars inside of ourselves. And I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but like, it's true. Like, these little infernos inside of ourselves. And that power is supposed to be used for something positive and something good. Um, but we do have to overcome many of our own obstacles and shortcomings in order to see that come to fruition. All right, so my little show and tell. So this journal is from August, and I did this watercolor painting quite a while ago, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. And so I got the idea to make it a cover for this journal. And I actually love this journal. What I learned from this journal was I need a bigger spine. Maybe I should like measure the spines out before making them to make sure that it's a big enough spine. Another thing that I learned in this journal, I hadn't yet learned how to sew signatures together, so I was like doing other stuff. And this is a note. If you're like, I want a physical journal, but I don't know how to do any of that stuff, it's okay. You can learn it. There are alternatives. And so, you know, there's room for growth. And I also loved that journal making was so random. It has nothing to do with anything that I do on the regular basis, my everyday life. It is its own sort of creative outlet for me, which is quite wonderful. These are images of me making my really big journal, which I will share. This journal is kind of the only journal that I've claimed for sure at this point, where I'm just like, this is mine. It's really big, and it is, it was intended to be like just for me, which I don't do a lot of things just for me. So, yeah. So that is August. This was the first folio journal that I pulled together, and this is for September 22. I was experimenting with some charms, which I do charm readings, and I actually have my bucket of charms that I use for that there, but I use them, attach them to my journals. Again, so this was a fully printed folio journal. First time I did this. Still heavily using cartography to help guide my messages and conversations with myself. See how short this entry is? So I like start and end all of my journal entries kind of with the same information. So the literally this journal entry is just an update on my journal, making progress one day at a time. That's it. So sharing that to say that it doesn't have to be a whole big old thing. Like some of my journal entries are multiple pages and including inserts and all sorts of other things. And it's just, I'm talking a lot. I got a lot to say for some odd reason. And sometimes I'm short and sweet. This was 2 sentences, right? So yes, you're journaling every single day, but it doesn't have to be this miraculous, long, drawn out thing every single day. So I used, like for some of the shorter entries, I used cards. And just like, these are all short and sweet, a few sentences. This is just images. I was traveling on this day, so it just basically says I'm traveling. You know, like they don't need, you know, moments of intense enlightenment every single time you sit down with yourself to work through things. Yes, the font is super tiny on this journal. I understand that. This was a little, what do I call her? A little affirmation or a little spell work, if you will. Some intentional words there. I put my research in here, like when I did a cartography reading and I wanted to know more about a specific energy or something. And then like with printed journals, you can feel really like everything needs to be perfect because it's printed off, right? And it's being memorialized or something like that in this printed form. No way. Like, again, I will probably share this in the future in some other capacity, but like, to me, journaling, like, it's a working document. And that's part of the reason why I also have like, I like the junk journal style where you have pockets and you can like glue or tape extra things onto a page and kind of like make it whatever it needs to be, because it's a working document. You can return back to these topics. You can return back to these ideas and impart other ideas that have come to you. It is not static unless you make it that way, unless you decide that's what you want to do. This was the first time I made my own digital files, which for some of these, which is a little sus, but gotta start somewhere, and usually you start in a place of sus. I'm just saying. So these are just folded in half, so they're longer. And there's a stack of them right here. And you know, I wrote right on this envelope for one of my journal entries. And then there's shorter entries in here, handwritten. So this one was intended to be a non-diary diary. So it doesn't have like traditional pages. As you can see, it's not like a journal with pages. It is just ephemera, basically. Assorted ephemera, tall things, small things, handwritten things, typed out things. So it was meant to explore different ways of journaling. So I kind of just made these some of these components that I could write on, right over some of the graphics, some of the things I printed out. So yeah, this was exploring that. This one I already told you was my first almost all written. I guess I can't really claim writing it the whole month because the first 3 days were digital. But I was also like drawing like little images of the charms and stuff in my readings. Yeah, sketches are sketchy, let me tell you. This was good though, and it's low-key incomplete. Like there's still stuff that needs to be put together again, but I allowed myself that grace when I was doing this. Okay, so I think, okay, I have to share this one really quick because I love this one. Isn't that paper awesome? This was me experimenting with dyes and stuff. And I don't know if it's picking up, but it's shiny. I love it so much. And this one isn't sewed in. I guess I didn't want to commit to it. I did not want to commit. This is a peacock themed journal. Started getting into digitals at some point. I named all of my journal entries and dated them. And I have one of these, maybe not for the beginning ones. I don't remember if I have them for the beginning ones, but definitely further along, I was printing out like the table of contents, if you will. Beautiful. Okay, well, I don't want this to get too crazy long. I will definitely return and share some more of these journals and share some entries and share some insights. And again, all of this is to encourage you to go on a journaling adventure of your own. If you're thinking about it, if you're contemplating it, if you're like, oh, I think I should, you should. You absolutely should. Your length of time can be whatever you want. I chose a year. You can choose to do whatever you want. Choose 7 days, right? Like, lower the barrier of entry. If this is, if you've been kind of resisting it, lower the barrier of entry. Journal every single day for a week or a month or 3 months or something like that. I do feel like a longer period of time helps you to see patterns. It helps you to see things as they circle back around. It gives you more time to allow your brain, your subconscious, to percolate through ideas, and when I tell you they come back around, listen, I have all of these pages to tell you that they come back around. Even if you can't figure something out, you plant the seed and then let the workings of life, the subconscious world, let your subconscious work through that, and it will come back. I promise you it'll come back. And either it'll come back with more questions for you to ask and for you to seek, or it'll come back with some answers for you, which of course we always want some of that. So anyway, these are the thoughts that I have to share with you today. Again, if something resonated, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Click like, subscribe if you're not already connected. And I look forward to seeing you in an upcoming video, whether it is our cartography reading or a journal making video or videos like this where I'm kind of sharing my journey and hopefully encouraging and inspiring you to go on a journey of your own. Again, the intent of all my content on this channel is to help you find your path and purpose, to get aligned and to head down that road. Thank you so much, beautiful kindred soul, for your time and your energy today, and I look forward to seeing you in an upcoming video. Be well. Blessed be.